Hey everybody, thanks so much for joining me, for tuning in. It's Starry time, and today is Thursday, the 6th of August, and we're looking ahead for the next 7 days. And there is big astrology coming our way and already happening. And just to summarize a couple of things before we're going to look at the chart, and you're probably already feeling it. We are within eclipse season. We're going to have, so this last full moon in the sign of Aquarius opened up the eclipse portal. And this is a time where things are speeding up, where we're going to have a lot more momentum, maybe more demands, more responsibilities, moving, running from A to B, feeling the inner hype that we want to do things, make things moving, have things on the go. But there is also a grand invitation for us to actually slow down, to go within, to be very present, because this is not a time to rush around and push the things along. Because eclipse season, as the energies are already so very heightened, it takes us even a lot more effort to find that calm within, to be at the center of the wheel. So I'm going to share with you what the chart's going to look like, and we'll have a look at planetary movements. And so this week we got all the personal planets are changing signs. So that's a really big deal, and that's happening this week. So as a summary, we're gonna see Venus, goddess of love and beauty, what we like, what we dislike, our value system. We're gonna see her moving out of Virgo and into Libra, the sign that she rules. So Venus is moving into the sign of Libra tomorrow on the 7th of August, and we'll just have a quick look ahead. She will be there until the 11th of September, so quite a long time to having Venus in her own rulership, which is a beautiful position for Venus to be in. And we'll be gladly seeing her moving out of Virgo, where, Venus in Virgo she's very practical. She has an eye for detail. So she's been slowing us down, but she's in the opposite sign of her exaltation. So Venus in Virgo, there is also a challenging aspect to it. Maybe we have way too high expectations on ourselves, on another. Also, Venus has been in a square aspect to Mars in Gemini, so that's been a bit of a drag for relationships, working things out, and there is a lot happening, very dynamic, while Venus has been discerning, feeling into what's right for her, what are we. Yeah, what's important for us now? We've been asking ourselves for the last 4 weeks, where Venus has been moving through the sign of Virgo, more practicality, getting organized, also more an eye for health, well-being, lifestyle, daily rituals, routines. So all of that have been up, and making any kind of health related choices and changes. So tomorrow Venus moves into the sign of Libra, and as I said, will be there for about another 4 weeks till the 11th of September. So that's a beautiful alignment for Venus. Venus in Libra, she also has an eye for detail, but that's a bit different. She's more artistic. She's more cerebrally in her mind, in her a creative mind. Venus in Libra walks into a gallery or into a home. She straightens out the pictures. She has an eye for detail, in a sense of there's a certain sacredness with Venus in the sign of Libra. Also, she's very much into creating harmony, balance, equality in relationships. So we will also see a shift in relationships with Venus entering the sign of Libra. And as Venus, I want to stay with Venus for a bit. I love talking about Venus. And it doesn't matter whether we are boy or girl or what our sexual orientation is. we all have all the planets, all the planetary imprints, psychological imprints. They are moving dynamically through us. And depending on our natal blueprint, we have conversations going on inside of us. And then, of course, as we encounter the outer world, so the micro always communicates and engages with the macro. This is a big deal. And so, as Venus is moving along this week, we'll be looking into, yeah, till next Thursday, the 13th of August. So on her way, she's making very benevolent, beautiful dialogues with Uranus. So first she's gonna encounter Pluto, Lord of the Underworld, in the sign of Aquarius. So she's creating an air grand trine with Venus, Pluto, and Uranus. So that's a beautiful forward moving energy, developments in relationships. There is a flow. So if we've been feeling stagnant, things been up, there is more of a guided natural flow coming. Also a good time for conversations with Mercury moving into Leo, also changing signs. So I'll be talking about that shortly. So there is flow, there is future oriented movements with Venus in Libra in a trine to Pluto. Pluto is transformational, is in Aquarius, future oriented. It's also about, because Venus in Libra wants to create equilibrium, wants to have win-win situations and be an equal in relationships. Pluto is going to help with that in, yeah, in the sign of Aquarius, particularly, which is humanitarian. It's also, there's an artistic streak. We are creative. There's a beautiful energy flowing here. The other trine is to Uranus. Uranus is a mover and shaker, can often shakes up the status quo. We have sudden epiphanies, new ways of being. So there can be also with Venus here, new people coming into our lives, new connections, whether that be friendships, whether that could be intimate relations. So there's a lot happening, and it's beautiful, flowing, forward moving, bringing new opportunities, new possibilities, and very benevolent. Yay, we want to hear that. So that's Venus here, making a beautiful start into this week from tomorrow in the sign of Libra. Simultaneously, or almost simultaneously, anyway, this week we got Mercury, another personal planet. Mercury is about communication, movement, how we, yeah, dealing and wheeling with the inner world, with the outer world. There's a lot of movement. And I feel also we can't wait for Mercury to leave Cancer, because Mercury had a really long stint in the sign of Cancer because we had a Mercury retrograde. So I don't know exactly how long, but we are over it. We are over moving backwards and maybe forwards and then backwards again. And yeah, while, because the controversy here is Cancer is very internalized. We want to feel nurtured and safe and secure. And it's not a sign of great movement. Mercury, the messenger god, the fleet-footed messenger, wants to move, wants to head from A to B. And yeah, preferably swiftly, not in definitely not in a Cancer kind of scenario. So what's going on here? Mercury finally moving into the sign of Leo on the 9th, 10th of August. Mercury finally in Leo. And so there is a lot of hard energy moving into our conversations, our communications. And Mercury is going to be here till about the 26th of August, 25th of August. So we're getting about 3 weeks with Mercury in the sign of Leo, an opening of the heart, a beautiful, heartfelt conversations in a sextile to Venus. So any conversations, communication is very benevolent, is very much highlighted here. So yeah, if we need to have conversations, I mean, we're always conversing with one another, but there is a flow, there is a gentleness, there is a heart energy, there is an equality. This is not a harsh energy. Again, we have flow here, and this is beautiful. So, in many ways, there is a great benevolence that is opening for us inside of us, and we can grab that and harness that and bring it into our present moment. As we can see, we got a lot happening in the sign of Leo. The sun, so the sun at the moment will go back a bit. Sun is at 13 degrees of Leo, still gonna be there for another at least 2 weeks in Leo. Happy birthday, all you lion hearts. There is again, Leo is playful, childlike, romantic, sexual, creative self-expression. Leo loves that. Leo has a big heart. And also, yeah, Leo likes to be out there, let your hair down. There's a certain, yeah, a joy of life that's coming in. Then we got Jupiter here, Jupiter very benevolently expanding the heart energy. Jupiter in Leo can also expand a negative ego. So it's good to have our ego, the negative ego, in check. We all need a good ego. Ego is a good thing. It's our I amness, our awareness, our vitality, our joy of life. So we need that expression. But also, there can be an inflated version of self, often coming from a sense of insecurity, not having been applauded as a child, not having been heard, supported. So there can be that pain beneath that. And then when we have a strong negative, expanded ego, Leo expression, we can blow things out of proportion and, oh, look at me and how beautiful am I? And that there can be all of that. And as I said, often coming from a place of, yeah, not having been acknowledged by our caretakers, by our parents, by friends. And there's a longing to be seen, a longing to be heard, to be understood, to be applauded, to someone that says, you've really done well, amazing. I love seeing you expressing yourself creatively like that. And Leo is also the royalty, the leader. So we also want to step into our leadership, being the author of our own life in healthy ways. So now is a great time to, yeah, maybe there is themes up around leadership, about around being in power. What does it mean for me to be a leader of my own life, to be self-responsible, and maybe also being a leader, a group leader, a mentor, being out there, a presenter. So how can we bring that in and being those gentle, powerful leaders that actually move? What moves me? What gives me life? And how can I share that so that others feel empowered as well? So much Leo energy coming, particularly with Mercury entering the sign of Leo on the 10th of August. So again, fast forward movement. Leo rules the fifth house of the heart, ruled by the sun. So there's vibrant energy. Then, as we move forward, and you probably are very aware, yes, we're in eclipse season, and yes, the first eclipse is coming soon, which is um, a solar eclipse, a new moon in the sign of Leo. Of course, the sun and the moon coming together at 20 degrees of Leo, and I think it's about at 3 a.m., something like that. So the sun and moon at about, yeah, at 20 degrees of Leo coming together. So it's an eclipse, which means we got the moon between, the moon is between the sun and the earth. So there is a shadow blocking out all of the light of the sun. It's a total solar eclipse. So the sun, our sense of self, our I amness, is totally being blocked. So that's a big thing. It is a reset time. Next week, Thursday here, 13th of August, early morning hours, we got this new moon in the sign of Leo, which is also a solar eclipse. So the energies are a lot bigger, especially with Jupiter here. So there is an expansion of our I amness. of what it is that we want to create. What do I want? And naturally, we might ask ourselves, what don't I want any longer? How can I shine my light? How can I be my creator self, as George Cavasili says. He talks about, I am a creator being. If we can say that every day or feel it, I'm a creator being. I'm done with suffering and I want things to be real in my life. That's what George says. I'm a creator being. I want things to be real and I'm done with suffering. So I feel that's maybe very aligned with this new moon solar eclipse on Thursday the 13th in the early morning hours. A great time to set intention, to put it out there, whether we're writing it down, whether we're saying it to ourselves, whether we just have a quiet moment, because it is a reset. When the sun, the light of the sun is blocked, it's like after the eclipse, like as the eclipse happens, there's a rebirthing moment, and Leo is that rebirth, that the birthing of the sun, the sense of self. So can we allow some stillness on Thursday to rebirth ourselves, to tap into our creativity? And if we're feeling like nothing is much moving at the moment and we don't have the answers, and it's fine. Where we are is where we need to be, and there will be a lot of forwards movement over the next 6 to 12 months with this creation energy of Leo. So it's important to harnessing that energy, not to push things shit uphill. It's being, it's a beautiful beingness that brings that life force that's required to move forwards and onwards. Also, these Leo planets here are in a beautiful trine with Saturn. Saturn is for the long term. Saturn is determined, committed to the path ahead. There is not a quick fix, and we shouldn't look for quick fixes anyway. They're usually, as the word says, very short-lived, and we feel happy for a moment, or that feels better, and but then we want to move forwards. And also in the backdrop of everything that's happening of this eclipse season, we have the outer planets working together, having opened the portal that's going to guide us and is with us till 2029 to tap into our sovereignty, to live our truest gifts. We got Pluto, we got Uranus, we got Jupiter here, we have all these guys, Neptune in Aries. It's happening. It's a benevolence here. And it also means there is a letting go. As we're stepping into our sovereign being, as Oracle Girl says, I've been following Oracle Girl. Check her out, oraclegirl.org. I've been following her since the crazy time in whatever, 2020 and 2021. And yeah, she talks in her latest reboot group about, I feel like, right about this energy that we're tapping into a time that a renewed version of ourselves, a renewed sense of ourselves, whatever, so many things that are falling away because we're letting go the slave selves. Oracle Girl talks about the slave self is dropping away, which means as our true essence is coming through more and more, that slave self that Oracle Girl talks about is falling away, and it has to. And I feel everything that's going on in the background is supporting that. And it's not easy, it's challenging. Again, there is a long-term approach because we can no longer overlook things. Yeah, we are doing it. We are it. We are the ones we've been waiting for, and the time is right. The time is now. So, also what's happening together with this solar eclipse new moon in the sign of Leo, we have Mars moving into the sign of Cancer. So that's a bit of a challenging position for Mars. I'm just going to have a look for how long Mars is going to be in Cancer till the end of September before Mars moves into the sign of Leo, much more aligned for Mars, healthy Mars. So Mars in the sign of Cancer, as Cancer is ruled by the moon, Mars likes to assert. We want to assert our will. We want to move forwards, big and bold. And now Mars is in the sign of the moon, reflective. So our will, our assertiveness is more reflective, is more gentle. We are tuning in. How does this make me feel? Do I feel safe? Do I feel Can I feel vulnerable here? Does this make me feel secure? Do I feel nurtured? So this Mars, before we assert ourselves, there is this check-in point. And I feel this is very aligned with all the astrology because we have so much fire happening. If Mars was in fire as well, we would be way too sped up and would maybe miss out on the beauty of the moment. So Mars, until the end of September, moving into Cancer on the solar eclipse is the reminder of gentleness, doing things in the spirit of gentleness, checking in, having the check-in point. And we don't need to justify to anyone why we do things. If we feel, oh, that's a bit off, I don't feel safe in this situation, I'd rather not. So listen to that. That's a really good point here. And also, Mars is going to be the only planet in a water sign. So, while we have this warrior god Mars, we also want to trust that impulse that's coming from a place of inner guidance, like the moon, our reflective state. Also, as we can see in this chart, we don't have any earth. There is no earth. We got a lot of fire that's gonna also speed things up. So a good invitation to slow down, be very present. Only we can harness the present moment to its fullest. Can I give the present moment my everything without looking ahead how things should be and how I want things, because eclipses have a way to shake things up and break out of the norm and move us forward. So we only have Chiron in the sign of Taurus, and Chiron is the wounded healer coming home to Taurus, where Chiron was discovered on the 1st of November 77, which is the wound of Mother Earth, the wounding of the gap between masculine and feminine, the gap between spirit and matter. So we are reminded that we are it, we are spirit, we are body, we are the earth, we are Father, Son, Mother Earth. We are all part of the micro and the macrocosm. We can't be different to nature. And Chiron is the wound that's showing us that, yeah, simplicity is key. Back to nature. Honor your own nature. Honor nature outside of us. Being in union with everything. So there's great learnings, healings. We have three out of personal planets moving into new signs. So big shifts this week of energy. Also, we can feel zapped energetically. So don't be surprised, especially during eclipse times we can feel zapped because the sun is having a reset, our vitality, our sense of self. Also, so much is burning away with so much fire. We are the nodes of the moon have changed for another 18-month cycle. We are moving towards more of the Aquarian energy, the humanitarian, being our own individuated self, while celebrating our individuality, being part of a group. There is big energetic shifts and they need to be honored. So we need to get enough sleep as much as we need. We all know individually what our barometer is to feel good on a daily basis, or to feel functional, and yeah, and there is a deep check-in with ourselves, like it's the claim my self-responsibility with Saturn in trine to this new moon in Leo. It's a long-term approach, not a quick fix. Yeah, I want to be the author of my own life. What does it mean for me to be a leader? What does it mean to, yeah, communicate from the heart? What does it mean to be very present? What does it mean to, yeah, observe, rather than judge, rather than impulsively run after something or run in the car and gotta go, they gotta do this, because eclipse seasons are also prone for accidents. It's important to slow down, and that can be the challenge here with so much fire also, that the everything feels like it's speeding up and so much change, and we want to get somewhere, but the invitation is to actually slow down, to not to miss out. We can never miss out. I think we're always in the right place where we're at, even through hardship, even through great change. We can't miss portals as such, but we can miss out on the beauty that every moment presents to us. And yeah, and yeah, I want to leave it with that, because this is profound. This is big astrology here, and we're all feeling it. We're all moving through it gracefully, more or less gracefully. And it's, we're in this human suit. We're doing the best that we can. We can't fuck this thing up. Yes, we make our mistakes. We have our lessons, and we're learning, and we can use that this coming week on the 13th of August as a reset. Okay, I've fucked up so many times. I've been that negative ego person. I've been cheated on. I've been the cheater myself. We've been everything, the light, the shadow, the dark, the ugly, everything. So can we allow a reset point and honor it, and maybe, yeah, bring in the water energy, have a good cry, and it's okay. We are worthy, we are enough, and we're awesome. And every moment is a new change to make things differently and make different choices. Anyway, I feel like I'm preaching here, and I'm the same. Like I just, yeah, we're all human. I feel like I'm permanently fucking up, and sometimes, yeah, it's a big deal, I think, to having chosen this human experience. It's not an easy one, and it's challenging, and coming into a world that's so conditioned and so set up in a way that a lot of us feel like, whoa, I haven't chosen this thing here. It's I want to create, I want to live in bliss and harmony, and create a world that's where there is no hierarchies and equality, and anyway, we're doing it. We're it. And this is the week, or one of the big weeks anyway. Thank you so much for listening. So much love. And I'll talk to you soon. Bye.